Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to really pull out the key insights from complex sources. And today, we're offering, well, kind of a shortcut to some really deep wisdom. We're diving into Proverbs, specifically chapter 6. Our goal, to unpack the lessons in these ancient verses. We'll do it through a narrative about choices and consequences. Our source material calls it the story of two paths, the foolish pledge and the fatal flame. And it follows a young man named Eli.
Exactly. And that's really where the power of Proverbs shines, I think. These short sayings, they just cut through all the noise. They give you these direct insights. And it's not just what to do, but really why certain choices are crucial for, well, for a good life, for peace. It's like uncovering the hidden framework of how things really work.
The hidden framework. I like that. So let's start with Eli. Scene one is the trap of rash promises. So Eli, young guy, seems like he has good intentions, right? He guarantees a loan for a friend, wants to help out, but then, maybe predictably, the friend disappears. Poof, gone. And the debt collectors. They show up at Eli's door. He's suddenly tangled up, stressed out, losing sleep, trying to fix this thing he signed. It makes you think, doesn't it? How many of us have been caught by, like, a quick promise, a handshake deal gone wrong?
Oh, absolutely. It's such a timeless problem. And Proverbs 6, verses 1 to 5, they speak right to this. The wisdom here, it's not just about money, is it? It's deeper. There's this invisible cost. The text says, if you have shaken hands and pledged for a stranger, go and humble yourself. Give your neighbor no rest. It's saying, look, these foolish promises, they create a kind of spiritual debt, this internal noise that just wears you down. It steals your peace. You end up enslaved, not just by the money, but by the constant worry.
Yeah, and the imagery used is so striking. Free oneself like a gazelle from the hunter's hand, or a bird from a snare. That paints a picture of real urgency, right? What does that urgency tell us about wisdom when we're trapped by our own words? Like, how does that look practically today?
It tells us some traps need immediate escape. Like right now, wisdom isn't always slow and careful planning. Sometimes it's that sudden dash for freedom, instinctive almost, practically. It might mean having that really awkward conversation you've been avoiding, or admitting you messed up, maybe even trying to renegotiate instead of just letting this bad promise fester and consume you. Because the longer you wait, the tighter that snare gets.
Makes total sense. Okay, so Eli's story moves on, and things, well, they get complicated. He's got this debt hanging over him, and he starts sliding into slothfulness, laziness. It's subtle at first, avoiding work calls, waking up later, scrolling on his phone, telling himself rest is important. But meanwhile, the bills are piling up. His dreams are fading. It's that slow erosion you mentioned.
Yes, that slow, subtle erosion is exactly it. And Proverbs has this amazing image for it. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. It's such a powerful call. Think about the ant. It works hard, prepares for the future, gathers food in the summer, and it does all this without anyone standing over it. No boss, no manager. The insight is just profound. True diligence, it comes from within. It's about self-discipline leading to real freedom. It sort of pushes back against our tendency to wait for motivation. And the flip side, the consequence of ignoring the example, it's stark. Sloth, the text says, brings poverty like a bandit, scarcity like an armed intruder. So hard work, it's not just about getting paid. It's framed almost like a spiritual practice, a divine way to find provision and that deep peace. It shapes your character, not just your bank account.
It really does make you stop and think about your own habits, doesn't it? Your own diligence or lack thereof. How often do we put things off, maybe rationalize it, not realizing we're slowly letting our future slip away, unlike the ant? Okay, so Eli's situation's getting pretty desperate. And then he meets this character, Rico, the shortcut guy. The source describes his methods, the wink, the subtle nod, signaling with his feet, basically teaching Eli how to bend the rules, tell small lies, fake it till you make it. And for a little while, it actually seems like it's working. Eli builds this facade of success.
And this is where we see just how tempting that kind of influence can be. It's that classic charisma without character trap. It looks good on the surface, but what's really interesting is that Rico isn't just tricking others, he's teaching Eli to trick himself. So the warning isn't just about shady people out there, it's also about us. Are we ever tempted to build that facade? Especially today, with social media and everything. This proverb really challenges our whole idea of success, doesn't it? When the quick, flashy win seems so attractive. And for Eli, the fallout is brutal and fast. The text says, one phone call, one exposure, one moment,
Right.
and boom, the whole thing collapses. He's suddenly broken beyond healing. It shows how fragile those facades are. Built on lies, they shatter completely. And the brokenness feels so final because the foundation was just the sand.
Wow. So thinking about that, what's the lesson for us? When we meet people who seem charming, but push us towards cutting corners, How do we tell the difference?
Hmm.
How do we know who or what to trust? Right. Now let's picture Eli. He's hit rock bottom. Debt, laziness, lies.
Yeah.
It's all crashed down. A pastor comes to see him, opens the Bible, and reads this really striking passage from Proverbs. There are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him.
Yeah, this part is incredibly direct. It lists specific things that are fundamentally destructive. And if you look closely, there's sort of a common thread running through them all. It seems to be about a distorted view of oneself, turning inward in a way that ultimately destroys. Let's quickly go through them. First, prideful eyes. More than just arrogance, it's thinking you know best, better than God, better than anyone, closing yourself off.
Okay,
Second, a lying tongue, using words as weapons, deception, harm, betraying trust.
got it.
Third, hands that shed innocent blood, hurting others, maybe not literally killing, but harming them to protect yourself or get ahead.
Great, trampling over people.
Fourth, a scheming heart. Your mind is just constantly plotting, devising manipulative or evil plans instead of seeking good. Fifth, feet quick to do evil. An eagerness, like rushing toward wrongdoing without a second thought.
Readiness for it.
Sixth, a false witness. Actively lying, covering up truth, maybe in court, maybe just in life, destroying the basis of trust.
Undermining everything.
And seventh, a person who stirs up conflict, someone who creates drama, sows discord, maybe for their own gain or just because they like chaos, disrupting peace. And it's really crucial to get this. God's hatred here isn't like petty human anger. It's described as holy, righteous, rooted in love, actually. It's a love that naturally rejects anything that destroys people, his creation. So this list, it isn't just condemnation. It's really an urgent warning, an invitation to turn away from that destruction, choose life.
That's a powerful way to frame it. There is no joy in what God hates. There is only ruin. It really shifts this perspective. These aren't just bad things. They're actively harmful forces. So Eli's trying to recover, trying to find his footing again. But then another test comes along. He meets Ariah. She's described as, beautiful, confident, captivating, and she pays attention to him, flatters him, listens. Everything he's probably craving in his broken state, right? And even though he knows she's married, he finds himself, sticking around longer, texting more, thinking about her. It's that classic slippery slope again. The heart gets entangled way before anything physical happens.
Exactly. And this leads right into that incredibly vivid analogy in the text. Can a man scoop fire into his lap without his clothes being burned? It's so visceral. The core truth is undeniable. Destructive choices like adultery, they don't just materialize out of nowhere. They start small. In the thoughts you entertain, the boundaries you blur, those seemingly harmless little compromises. It's a serious warning about playing with sparks near gasoline. And the consequences described are just devastating. Aria's husband finds out. There's rage, understandably. But the text also mentions God's discipline. It's not just about the human fallout. Scripture says it bluntly. He who commits adultery has no sense. He destroys himself. End quote. If you step back and look at the big picture, lust acts like a thief. It steals your honor, your peace, your legacy, everything valuable. It might promise some fleeting excitement, but it leaves you empty. So God's warning, again, is really love in disguise. It's a desperate plea. Don't play with this fire. Run to the safety of faithfulness, of covenant love. Cherish what actually builds life. Don't burn it down.
While scooping fire into his lap, that image just stays with you. It really drives home the immense cost. And like the source says, the shame often lasts so much longer than any momentary pleasure. It's like another kind of debt when you can't easily repay. Makes you realize just how many hidden costs come with those small compromises. Okay, but Eli's story doesn't end in ruin. There's a turnaround, a final act. He's been bruised by it all, the debt, the laziness, the lies, the lust. He finally hits bottom and falls to his knees. He starts reading Proverbs every single day. He genuinely repents. He starts the hard work of rebuilding, goes back to his wife, finds honest work. And then importantly, he starts mentoring younger guys, teaching them, pleading with them. Never go down the road I went down. The final picture we get is him reading to his own son, passing on that hard-won wisdom. Bind these commands to your heart. Let them guide you, for they are the way of life.
It's a powerful conclusion, and it really crystallizes the key lessons from Proverbs 6 for all of us. First, don't sign what you don't understand. And that's broader than contracts, right? Don't make rash commitments. Your integrity, your wisdom, that's worth more than looking helpful in the moment. Second, hard work is holy. Seriously, don't sleepwalk through your future. Diligence builds character and security. It's not just about effort, it's about purpose. Third, don't follow wicked counsel. Always test advice. Check the character behind the charisma. Discernment is key. Fourth, avoid what God hates. Understand that his warnings come from love, guiding you away from things that inevitably destroy. It's about choosing flourishing. And finally, run from adultery. Just run. It burns everything it touches, your honor, peace,